We're still reviewing the papers.
So I wanted to take the BRT users lamenting the shortage of buses. They are appealing to the government to bring in more buses because of the cost of transportation. The commercial buses, the yellow buses, their cost is too high, so they all prefer to go and take the BRT buses, which there is a 25% reduction. So, and the queues are really, really long. So they're appealing to the government to please bring in more buses so that they don't even have to take the... If they bring in the buses, they will reduce, they will force the danfos to reduce their own prices too, because there will be competition.
He worked at the Mile 2 end. When the train started operations, danfos were begging
people to come in, yeah. So I have the major headline. The House of Representatives has summoned 83 ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government as it begins an investigation into the alleged mismanagement of over 447.6 billion COVID-19 intervention fund from 2020 to 2022. So they said the budget of the MDA showed that at least 22 of them got not less than 447.6 billion as COVID-19 funds in 2020 alone. And this implies that the COVID-19 intervention fund from 2020 to 2022 was way higher than the 447.6 billion, which was received by less than half the number of MDAs. And they have been invited by the House of Reps for the probe, which is to start November 27th. At the end, and it will end December 4th. And so they broke down how they were inviting them. So the House invited the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Communications and Digital Economy, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, and other agencies as well, ministries and departments. And they're going to be appearing before the lawmakers to answer questions on alleged mismanagement of the COVID-19 funds. You know, the guest we had yesterday mentioned something like that. Yeah. So they broke down the days they are supposed to present themselves. So to appear before the committee on Monday, November 27th, at the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, FEMA, Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation, Digital Economy, Federal Ministry of Youth, a lot of them. They also have another appearance on November 28th, National Agency of Food. In fact, when I read all the agencies, I'm like, it'd be like everybody just chopped this money. So they will be appearing one after the other, different days, yes, to answer to the legislatures.
Daily Sun, APC opposition parties on warpath over court judgments. Climate change, over 110 million Nigerian children at risk, says UNICEF. Ohaneze announces plans to amend constitution, calls for memoranda. Manpower, our greatest asset, Tinubu tells investors. Editors urge federal government to give economic revival measures human face. Defense headquarters reveals how troops foiled attack on Yobe governor's convoy. Subsidy removal, AFG records over $1 trillion monthly revenue inflow, says minister. And U.S.-Israeli officials raise hope on deal to free hostages and achieve ceasefire. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The United Nations Children Fund said Nigeria is the second most vulnerable country worldwide in terms of children's exposure to climate change, with over 110 million children confronted with harsh realities of rising temperatures. So they said no fewer than 650,000 Nigerians have been displaced by flood within the 4-year across the country. And this was said by the UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Christian Monduet, and the Chief of Field Office in Kaduna State, Gerida Birikula. And they said they talked about this as part of the activities to mark the 2023 World Children's Day. You know that they had established the day in 1954. They usually celebrate every November 20. And one of the reasons they celebrate is to promote international togetherness and awareness amongst children worldwide, and also to help improve children's welfare. And this last celebration was themed for every child, every right. And, they went ahead to talk about the impact of climate change on children, saying that about 3.1 million children could be displaced by riverine flood over the next 30 years. And we have a lot to do to ensure that this doesn't happen. And we are the worst compared to Chad, on the other hand. And Nigeria's child population of more than 110 million accounts for 10% of the 1 billion children worldwide who live in extremely high-risk countries.
Okay. So I have the Yobe governor's attack. So the defense headquarters talked about they revealed how troops of 29 Task Force Brigade fought the attack by terrorists on the convoy of the Yobe State Governor along the Maiduguri-Damaturu Road last Saturday. They said that they were able to foil the attack, and they lost a police officer who died immediately he arrived at the specialist hospital after rescue. They said 1 military truck driver, 4 police escorts, and 1 DSS operatives also wounded in the attack were in stable condition right now. And they said they recovered 2 vehicles affected in the accident. They also said that the 29 Task Force Brigade, led by the brigade commander, are conducting a fighting patrol in that area right now to locate the terrorists who carried out this attack.
Yeah, and the thing is, that headline, it says the DHQ reveals how the troops fought there, but they haven't told us how. They only told us what happened.
It impaired me throughout the
how, because I read the story over and over again thinking...
Don't give their secrets.
But no, that was the how they foiled the attack. How did you foil it? Did you kill the terrorists? Because now you're still looking for the terrorists.
Did you catch them?
Did you catch them? We don't know. They're just... But we know that somebody died and that the governor was not in the convoy.
All right. I was going to take Ohaneze Ndigbo announced that they are going to be amending their constitution in tandem with current realities. The National Publicity Secretary, Chidozie Ogbonna, made this in a statement at their NEC meeting. It will be reviewed to accommodate various current developments which were not envisaged in 2003 when the present constitution was amended. So this is our Ohaneze Ndigbo constitution. And I guess that's pretty much the summation of the news. Okay, let's move on now to Vanguard. On ease in financial markets as CBN's MPC meeting fails to hold. Tinubu to German investors, Nigeria has some ingredients to become modern economy. Economic recovery, editors confab urges FG to reduce deafening anxiety amongst Nigerians. APC's snatch, grab and run agenda inimical to democracy, says Atiku. Democracy has failed in Africa since Obasanjo. Subsidy removal, FG records over ₦1 trillion monthly revenue, says Wale Edun. It's time for political reform, says Labour Party. And Osho Assembly Speaker CJ's counsel Baker over the corruption allegation. Okay, which story?
Okay, so the major headline, of course, the CBN has deferred again the monetary policy meeting that was supposed to hold. And this is a bi-monthly meeting. That means it holds every 2 months. The initial one slated for September 25, 26 was moved. And that was because they said they were, waiting for the takeover of office or people to settle in office. But now, again, it didn't hold. This meeting is provided for by the CBN Act and is supposed to ensure that they facilitate the attainment of the objective of price stability and support the economic policy of the federal government. And the meeting is the highest policy-making organ of the Apex Bank. But it didn't hold, and so we have people, we have Muda Yusuf, I'm trying to remember his present office now, but we have experts saying that this would discourage investors. This uncertainty would discourage investors. Ayoride Akinloye, an economist, also said it will keep investors guessing, and that's not a good thing to happen. I don't know why this particular one didn't, or the CBN has not come out to tell us why, but the Monetary Policy Committee meeting is very, very important.
Okay.
In Akure, supporters of the governor, Rotimi Adetiwa, Adetiwa, sorry, have vowed to protest, to stage a massive protest. They've been putting it online and everywhere that there's going to be a major protest in Akure this week. But supporters of Rotimi Akeredolu too have said, once they come out, they too, they are coming out. So, protest means protest.
All right, so arising from the 4-day annual conference at the Nigerian Guild of Editors, they had it in Akwa Ibom. Many of you follow that story. So lots of media heads were there trying to see if they gave us a list of all the books. In the conference attended by publishers, media executives, senior editors of print, electronics, online media houses across the country, they all urge governments at all levels to practically initiate actions that could cushion the immediate effects of the sacrifices of Nigerians towards the economic recovery. They understand the economic measures the government is putting in place. However, they noted that the path to total economic recovery must not be littered with corpses of those who can't survive the suffocating heat of the present situation. NGE urged the federal government to reduce the deafening anxiety amongst Nigerians by enacting short-term measures to help alleviate the current hardships Nigerians are facing. Issues of the volatile exchange rates, illiquidity, all the issues we are going over. They're just saying that, listen, we understand you need to do what you have to do, but people are suffocating. So we need short-term measures to help them cushion the effects of these
So you don't
measures.
end up killing the people you are trying to save. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's anxiety in the police over plan to enforce the rule on mandatory retirement by officers. It said those affected are officers above 60 years and those who have spent 35 years in the service. And they are expected to send their letters of retirement to the appropriate police command, according to a circular by the Inspector General, Kayode Egbetokun. And he said, however, the affected overaged officers are trying to resist the move to enforce the order. So the Police Service Commission, PSC, frowned at the officers resisting retirement and saying that it's contrary to service rule. So they are, advocating that if you've finished your time, you've done either 35 years of service or you're over 60 years, you're not supposed to be in service. So just kindly write your retirement letter and come and drop it. But they are dodging and resisting. They don't want to do that. I think they should be finding out why they are resisting retirement.
Look, you know what? I'm 60. I'm 63 almost. And
you feel you still have energy.
I still have energy. Now, we don't have enough police. And then the ones that are still healthy and you are telling them to retire. I don't think, because I hear that the government has done the judges from 65 to 70. Now you retire at 70.
Even teachers.
So,
police work is an active work. It's not like
you need energy.
You need energy. You can't just
no. But listen, they are the ones that will sit down now and give direction now. It's not everybody that is active.
They can play advisory roles. They can be in the office.
So I think they should really actually let's think about it.
Yeah.
Review this. You don't have enough police. You have 300 and something. And you have to
want to retire how
many?
They don't have enough.
Now you're recruiting.
Are people applying to go into the police? I never see anybody around me who won't join.
They didn't have enough.
We have to roll. That's what our hot topic for today. But thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.